Welcome back to Amalie Arena. Let's have a look at our goaltenders once again at our GMC big matchup.
Boy, we're going to have a real active pair tonight. You got Mike Smith and Ben Bishop, two of the best at getting out and handling the puck. We could get an empty net goal. Anyway, you see what they put up as far as numbers are concerned so far this season. Ben a little bit in the head with that save percentage. And John Cooper, finalist for the Jack Adams Award this past year. And it goes against Dave Tippett, who won the Jack Adams Award in 2010. So we got two pretty good coaches behind the respective benches.
Rob Martel will handle the opening faceoff. Jean Hébert works with him. Steve Barton, Pierre Rasico, the linesman, as we're underway. And the puck is shot into the Lightning zone by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Jason Garrison there to play it to Radko Gudas. Nikita Kucherov rips that pass across to Andre Palat. Connor Johnson works between them, and he'll pressure the Coyote defense as Kucherov went down behind the net. Connor Murphy there for it. Young defenseman ahead to Martin Erat. Swept into the zone by Rob Klinkhammer, and Bishop able to step out and play that puck to Kucherov. And it's Palat who will send it in. Lightning will look for a change, and the Coyotes will do the same. Zbynek Mikalik starts it ahead for Arizona, gets the red line and fires it in off the glass support, skips off the side of the Lightning net. Anton Strawman in there battling. He's at a +9 among the leaders in the NHL, the best figure among defensemen in the league. Works against Lori Korpikoski. Antoine Vermette matched up with Matt Carl. Steven Stamkos on the ice for the Lightning, goes against Mikkel Boedker, their leading goal scorer with 5 on the season. He slips the check, held off by Bishop. He could not march out in front.
I'll tell you, one of the things that you got to really make sure is you close those guys off for that. Get that puck back in your defensive zone, excuse me.
Stamkos around the net, trying to stuff it home on Smith, who holds the puck and gets the whistle.
Well, you take a look at the numbers of or combinations they've had. Now you got them back up with Killorn here. Watch this play here. Smith was able to get that right pad down low, and he tried to sneak it home on his former teammate. But Steven back at center for a while anyway tonight. Played a lot of the wing on the west coast of Canada, and I think he was more natural at center.
Brewster's deflected shot covered by Smith.
When you take a look at the people not in action tonight, Mark Barbero, the only healthy scratch for the Lightning, although Cameron, I think, might be soon coming back.
Justin Hodgman just scored his first NHL goal the other night. Martin Hanzal is back healthy. He's out with a knee injury, and he replaces him for the Coyotes. As Brendan Morrow reaching in for the puck. Keith Yandel after it for Arizona. And he'll sail it back to center. Shane Doan right there. And Brian Boyle escorting into the zone. Hanzal has it. Stopped by Bishop on the stuff attempt. And Boyle is able to work the puck by the defenseman. And he keeps the puck out of Yandel's hands. Looked like he might have a 2-on-1 with J.T. Brown there for a moment.
Yeah, Yandel got back a little quicker than I think Brian thought. And he just had to dive to make sure that he...
Jason Garrison pursued here by Joe Vitale, playing with the Pittsburgh Penguins the last 3 years. And Vitale comes up with a puck back to the point. Ekman-Larsson shooting it. It's blocked by Radko Gudas. Nemestikov joins that tussle along with Garrison for control of the puck. And Garrison able to get it to J.T. Brown. Brown injured during the game in Winnipeg last Friday. Missed one game. Errant pass. Nemestikov nearly picked that off. Trying to keep the play alive. B.J. Crombie. Member of the Lightning the last couple of years, wearing number 44 for the Coyotes. Puck sent down the ice, and McCulloch gets to it. Leading it for Ekman-Larsson. Talked about on Lightning Live pregame, he was the 6th overall selection in 2009. Victor Hedman taken 2nd overall. A lot of very good young Swedish defensemen taken in 2008-2009, Chief. And Hedman and Ekman-Larsson going to be two of the best.
Boy, they're every... Lidstrom is a guy that probably spent that all there. Everybody's really looking for the next Nicholas Lidstrom. And boy, you got a couple of Danny's in those team.
Johnson walks in, fires, and a sliding block made by David Schlemko. Kucherov waiting behind the net. Lightning in transition, springing a quick 2-on-1. And the block made by the Coyotes D. Here's Kucherov in that zone. Gets it back. He'll hand it to Schuster. Shooting, a save by Smith. Palat, his pass. Missing the mark. Eric Brewer back for it.
You just saw at a preview what these young guys could do in that forward line. They had 4 passes within about 3 feet and still got a shot away on goal.
Schuster missed Filppula on the pass, but Mike Smith out to handle that puck. He'll send it back up the boards. Then he's scoring a goal against Detroit early last year. He also had 3 assists. And people were talking earlier today, there's probably a few defensemen who played as many games as Smitty who didn't have that many points. Here's Vermette firing. Saved by Bishop. Rebound. It's sent wide by Bodker.
I think he's got a points clause in his contract for a bonus.
Garrison with a pass. It's tipped. Picked up by Alex Killorn, making his return to action. Missed 4 games, injured in Edmonton. In the morning skate before that contest. Trying to step out in front, battling Connor Murphy. Bodker makes his way to center. He scored his 5 goals in the first 3 games. He's been quiet. No points in 4 games since. Strawman starting it back to Boyle.
One of the things you'll notice here, Phoenix is really jumping on the Lightning quickly in their zone. Lightning got to return in kind. Got to make sure you limit the time and space for the puck in their defensive zone against Phoenix.
Brendan Morrow, Brian Boyle reunited with Brown returning to the lineup. Sam Gagne's pass just over the stick of Shane Doan. And behind a Gagne tried to center out in front. It's taken back by Schuster. Morrow ahead for Brown. DT keeps an eye on Michael Stone. Lightning in the midst of a change, and Brewer handles it. Schuster had a pair of assists against the Coyotes in Glendale last year. They played in November, and Coyotes winning that one. They also wanted a shootout here at Amalie Arena in March. So the Lightning blanked in a couple of games against them as far as a win in the 2 meetings last year.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's keys, brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. And, of course, penalty kill. We talked extensively at the pregame show, Rick, as well as in our open about how good this power play is. 50% of their goals have been scored with a man advantage. So, Lightning have got to continue with their strong penalty kill, which only has given up 1 goal at home on the power play. And the net presence. All through Western Canada, the coaches were preaching that. And they couldn't get it at a consistent time. The only time you really noticed it was Calgary when they went to the net twice and scored both goals in that 2-1 win.
Late in that hockey game, and of course you lose Ryan Callahan in that Edmonton game. You lost Alex Killorn that morning. Those are probably the 2 leading practitioners of net presence on a consistent basis for the Lightning. As we've seen, Chief, that kind of spreads through your lineup when a couple of guys start doing it. They weren't there for the rest of the trip.
I'll tell you, you ever wonder why they were so keen on getting Ryan Callahan back? That's one of the reasons why. You know, Ryan Callahan's there all the time in front of that net. He's in all the dirty areas. And you're right, it does kind of, I always compare to that snowball rolling down the hill. And the more people do it, and the more guys you see do it, you start doing it yourself.
Shots 3-1 Lightning. Smith directing traffic. However, Kucherov getting to it. Johnson, his pass is tipped as Palat was open in front. Andre Palat with a puck. Nice maneuver. Johnson getting it back to Palat. Harrison now stationed near the net. Gudas shoots off the goal post, and it rockets back to center ice. Good movement in the attacking zone by the Lightning there. Palat. The pass to Johnson on the re-entry. Over for Gudas. Ekman Larsson pressured by Kucherov. Gudas stepped into there by Korpikoski. And Kucherov worked it free. The Lightning stay in the zone. Set up for Gudas. Quick shot, and it hit Tyler Johnson, but still they possess the puck. Gudas fires again. They score! 86. Nikita Kucherov right out in front. Appeared to get a piece of it, and the Lightning opened the scoring at 7:46.
We talked about puck control, puck management, and boy, they had the control of this puck for a long time. Here comes the shot, and it looked like Kucherov got a piece of it and directed it down from the glove of Mike Smith. But boy, excellent puck control. I mean, really, the retrieval. There's the tip right there. You see it tipping right past, and Kucherov picks up number 2. And that line is going to be awesome. They hang on to that puck.
Well, they've had several very effective shifts to open this game, and the Lightning open the scoring. As it's played out to center, Klinkhammer dumping it back, and the play offside at the Lightning line. So the Lightning open the scoring at 7:46, 1-0 over Arizona.
Lightning strike first against the Coyotes on Sun Sports at 12:14 of the first period. Kucherov with the goal. Bolts lead it 1-0. Jonathan Drouin playing his first game in front of the home crowd here, and it only took them 485 days to see it. Drouin sent back to the minor leagues last year to the Halifax Mooseheads. Then he fractured his thumb. So unlike the first overall pick in the 2013 draft, Nathan MacKinnon, or the second round overall pick, Alexander Barkov, Chief, Rick, they had to wait 485 days to see Jonathan Drouin. A long wait worthwhile.
What do they say? What was that old saying? That all good things come to those who wait. And boy, Rick, we saw that up in Western Canada when Jonathan came and had to be inserted into the Edmonton game right off the bat. And he has just been tremendous. He's been everything you can imagine that the scouts saw in him when he was a tremendous genius.
Anton Strawman shooting, and Yandel got a piece of that. The goal scored by Kucherov is second. Gudas and Tyler Johnson, Chief, gets the second assist on that one. That's big for him.
It really is. He was having a 16 point streak coming into tonight with that assist. It's now increased to 7. And that's a career long for him.
All assists.
Yeah. I asked him this morning about playing with Kucherov, and when you got a guy like that who's so highly skilled and can really find the open and see the ice so well, do you have to adjust your game? First thing out of his mouth, you would well imagine is, well, they're all pretty good like that up here. But he said, Kucherov, you got to be ready all the time because he will find you. You don't think he will, but he will.
McCulloch with a shot, handled by Bishop. Rebound, scooped up by Namestnikov, and he'll send it out toward the point. Sam Gagner, who came from the Oilers, ended up with the Coyotes. Of course, he was part of the deal with the Lightning involved, sending Teddy Purcell to Edmonton, and then Steve Yzerman sent Gagner on to Arizona. And he's been playing the wing the last couple of games, trying to get comfortable. Only picked up his first point as a member of the Coyotes in their last outing against the Florida Panthers. Here's a steal by Namestnikov. He walks in, stopped by Smith. He's dumped there by Shane Doan. As the Lightning skating free and easy here in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they've kind of... Phoenix really got, or excuse me, Arizona. I don't know how many times that'll happen tonight. Arizona actually had some pretty good pressure the first minutes, and then the Lightning really kind of took over.
Johnson speeding through. Kucherov couldn't get it to his stick as Smith was down. And behind that line works behind the Coyote goal. Michael Stone after it. Doan across for Yandel. He's pressured there by Gudas, dumping it back of the goal. Garrison picks it up. It rolls back of the point to Stone. Over for Yandel. Takes the shot. A save by Bishop. Yandel was looking for the stick of Korpikoski to redirect it. Palat battling Yandel. Picked up by Stone. He'll fire it in. Bishop out to play it. Shots 5-3 Lightning.
You're always worried when you get that first game back after a long road trip. For some reason, it doesn't seem like you play your best hockey, but so far in the first 12 minutes, Rick, that Lightning have played fairly solid.
Well, they've certainly had a lot of energy. They've been very alert. Sometimes, you mentioned coming off those trips, it's a sluggish start, but certainly not the case for the Lightning here. Crombie pushing it in, can't get it in deep. It hit the linesman as well as Matt Carl. And we get the whistle of the offside. 8:26 to go in this first period. And Namestnikov trying to add to the lead right there.
Bolts up 1-0 over the Coyotes right now. now as I am joined with Rays pitcher Chris Archer. He's not only here to support the Lightning tonight, he's also supporting the NHL's Hockey Fights Cancer Night. You are giving away this jersey on your back. Tell fans how they can win it.
Just tweet me at Chris Archer 42 a sentimental story about what Hockey Fights Cancer means to you, and the best story that we determine is going to get this jersey right here, right off my back.
Yeah, it's an awesome contest. Great purple jersey. How's your night so far as Bolt social captain?
Yeah, it's awesome. The fans here are tremendous. A lot of love, and it's good to see so many people out here on a Tuesday night watching hockey.
Alex Cobb a couple weeks ago. Chris Archer here tonight. Rick and Chief, nice to see him supporting.
That's certainly the case. Thank you very much, Kelly, as it shot ends up behind the net. Chris, a little bigger than he looks on the mound when you're watching in person or even on TV, Chief. Looks like he could provide a little net front.
Boy, I'll say, yeah, he's tall. I know when on television he doesn't seem to appear that tall, but he certainly is. He's a good pitcher, too. I really like him. He's going to be, he's young, he's learning, but still, he's going to be a dandy.
Pass to Stamkos, shooting, saved by Smith. Filppula shoots, he scores! Somewhere in that mass of humanity was Mike Smith hiding, and the puck eluded him. It's 2-0 Lightning.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're just really taking it to Arizona at this time. Getting the net. We talked about a net presence. Well, you see Alex Killorn. He's along with Ryan Callahan. He's always in front of that. And that's what happens. You had Stamkos in there as well. And when you bring guys to the front of the net, then that brings other your defensemen to come in there. So if you got two guys there, you always have two defensemen. So you got four guys. That goalie has to find that puck. And Mike Smith couldn't until it was behind him, and laying up 2-0.
Filppula's second goal, his first one to tie her late in Calgary on the road trip. Martin Hanzal back for the Coyotes. Huge centerman, 6'6", 226. Excellent face-off man. We'll see him, I would imagine, head-to-head on face-offs with Brian Boyle, who's certainly a match physically and in the circle. Stone, bringing out a Yandel. Now the Coyotes trying to get a few bodies in front of Ben Bishop. Harrison tussles with Doan in the corner. Lightning come out with it. Can't make a play. It's tapped off Gudis' stick as Yandel had crept in from the blue line. Andre Palat, long lead pass for Kucherov. It's tipped, and the puck entered the zone behind him. And the Coyotes with a free play out of the zone. Just off the bench is Nemestikov. Nemestikov picks up the puck. 1-on-4, now joined off the Lightning bench by Cedric Paquette and Jonathan Drouin. And Nemestikov dumped in the corner. Ekman Larsson with it.
I'll tell you what, they really have a lot of energy out there. They're really playing hard. Again, why we keep repeating, Rick, it always seems that first game back, it's kind of a listless effort, but not so far for the Lightning.
Cedric Paquette certainly playing well as he was called it midway through the trip. Drouin trying to find open ice. Here's Carl shooting a double deflection. Smith the save. Bodker throws it behind the net. Reaching Strawman. Drouin back to the goal. Jonathan with his 3 points coming in the last 3 games. We're going to get a penalty here for holding against Ekman Larsson, and the Lightning will go to the power play with a 2-0 lead when we come back. 2-0 Lightning. Here's tonight's great moment in hockey history, brought to you by Geico. On this day in 2006, Valtteri Filppula scores his first NHL goal as a member of the Red Wings, the goal team against the Blues. And Manny Legacy in that as Filppula split the defenders, lifted a backhander. In the first period for a 2-0 lead, it was Detroit's second shot of the game.
And that just shows you the great hands that he has, because he got that puck up quickly, and Legacy had no chance.
His goal here, Stamkos and Alex Killorn in his return to the lineup get the assists at 12-18. And the Lightning on the power play, a holding call against Oliver Ekman Larsson. Coyotes with a clear immediately. Lightning on the power play, 23.5%, ninth best. And the Coyotes, strangely Strangely enough, they're middle of the pack at about 83%, but all the goals they've given up, 4 of them, came in one game against St. Louis. They've been 20 for 20 in the other 6 games. So this should be an interesting matchup. Garrison now across for Stamkos. Walks it in, fires! Saved by Smith. Killorn right there in Smith's kitchen.
Well, you need that. You got to make sure. These goalies are so good now. You got to really make sure you take away their eyes.
Stamkos, now Garrison. Stamkos fires, and it's blocked. By Brandon McMillan, who's shaken up a little bit from that. Garrison up top, looks for an opening with Killorn screening. Strawman turns it back to Stamkos, who shows up on the other side of the ice. Now to Garrison, quick one-timer off the heel of his stick. Michalek is desperate to get rid of it. Can't. Stamkos hangs on to it. Garrison fires. Smith to save. The rebound is stopped by Smith as Killorn followed up. And the Coyotes do get a clear.
Good zone time. You know, that's the one thing, you know, that they want to get more shots. They haven't had, they've had the puck inside the offensive zone when they've had the man advantage, but not getting his shots. They've had 2 so far in this penalty.
Palat hands in his pass for Met. Angles it back. 18 seconds to go on the Ekman-Larsson penalty. Lightning in the 4-game homestand before the road trip. They were 6 of 19 on the power play. Working it around well here. Johnson and Matt Carl. Tyler Johnson to the slot. Palat couldn't hang on to it. Chased away by Murphy as Ekman-Larsson's back on. The penalty's over. Lightning with their 2-0 lead and 3:45 to go in the first period. Vermette able to get it to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Stick handles in against Carl. Force behind the net. JT Brown will get to it for the Lightning. Trying to play it up the boards in the simple play, and it was punched away by Michalek out of play.
Well, let's take a look at the Phantom Cam that's situated behind the net. When we talk about super slow-mo, this is 3,200 frames a second. And you can see that the play, and it's really kind of cool when you see it that slow. Believe me, if you were out there playing, you wish the game went that slow.
Well, our operator, Chad, will be working all night with that. And you mentioned the speed of it, Chief. It depends on the lighting and the given setting, how many frames per second it can shoot. And obviously, you mentioned 3,200 frames per second. Very clear. There's Chad.
Yep. Think about it, Rick. You know, you always talk about these great players that the game really slows down for them. That must be about the speed of the game when Gretzky played.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm telling you. The way he was able to see the game and pump up points was incredible.
Great look at the camera there, too. Every home should have one of those. Here's Shane Doan starting it in. Fires the shot, and it's off his stick, deflects out of play. The Holy Hog Barbecue Package scores you 2 tickets, 2 barbecue sandwiches, 2 sides, 2 sodas for all Monday and Tuesday games. Packages start as low as $75. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets. There are a bunch of folks taking advantage of that offer tonight. 12-3 the shots. You see there on your screen, the Lightning with plenty of pressure. Not exactly welcoming back their old buddy Mike Smith with open arms. They've been pounding shots at him and getting 2 behind him for a 2-0 lead. Garrison to Stamkos. Wrapped away by Yandel. Filppula working in that corner. Yandel comes up with it. The captain, Shane Doan, his pass picked off. Stamkos turns it around, steps around a hit. Gudas with the try, and it's deflected away by Yandel out in front. Gagne adding speed to this lineup, makes it to center. Getting it now to Hansel. Over for Doan. Killorn kept an eye on him. Here's a shot that's turned away by Bishop. Gagne chased by Filppula. A loose glove. It's Gudas's at the side of the goal. He's occupied right now. No time to reach back for that. Now he'll head off at a change.
Oh, they were able to get that puck to the ice to prevent icing. Got a good line change, but still has his goal out there.
Good example of what the coaches talk about, a good gap at center ice there, Chief. Met Carl right on Vermette to deny him that pass.
That's so important. Boy, you can stop teams just cold when you make all the plays at the neutral zone. And the key to that for the defense, obviously, is that forward. That forward is high. He has to come back. He has to be back in his position.
Strowman over for Nemestikov. He's trying to get off at a change. Smith straying to play the puck. As one linesman, Steve Barton, had his arm in the air indicating icing, but the Lightning were ahead of the pack, and Schuster has it. 1:20 to go here in the first. Brewer plays it in, knocked down by Yandel. Tries for Klinkhammer, and Schuster not giving him an inch. Kyle Chipchura moving it to Yandel. Erad. No room at the blue line. And offside the call. Stay tuned for the Gulf Coast Honda Dealers First Intermission Report. Here's what's coming up. Rich Hollenberg joining us tonight. He'll have a chat with Valtteri Filppula. We'll talk Hockey Fights Cancer Night. A lot going on with regard to that. Dave Andreychuk joining Rich, and highlights and stats as well. Trying to get it out of the zone with under a minute to go. It's played back in, and now we've got McCulloch and Brendan Morrow separated. They were involved in a turf battle at that blue line. And now Boyle responding with Chipchura trying to stir things up.
I think everybody around the league is probably taking a look, thinking that you can bully the Lightning, and I'm not so sure that's the case. Not a lot of fighters, but the idea is that you should take them out of their game by making them look over their shoulder. That hasn't been the case. We saw a couple teams do that. It hasn't worked for them.
Play offside, late call there by Rasico with the puck deflected at the line, and J.T. Brown just a split second ahead of the puck into the zone. 51.5 to play as we look at Brendan Morrow. Many battles in his Western Conference career against the Coyotes, and 21 career goals against them. The only team he scored that many against is the LA Kings. Some big years, couple of 30-goal years at Dallas.
Yep. Got a steady diet of Phoenix. Back then it was Phoenix. And
Harrison, that pass to Killorn. He'll play it in. Filppula getting to it. Stamkos in the zone as well. Hands it. Moves the puck around to Shane Doan. 38 years old. 19th year. He's only played for this organization. Played there last year in Winnipeg. That was his rookie season in the NHL. And then they moved to Phoenix after that. He's been in the desert ever since. Gudas back for the puck. Harrison slipping it out to center. Connor Murphy, the young defenseman. His father, Gord, played for a long time in the NHL and an outstanding assistant coach for many years as well. That puck is set down the ice as the horn sounds, ending the first 20 minutes of play. Dominated by the Lightning. Valtteri Filppula with one of the goals. Nikita Kucherov has the other one. And the shot advantage 12-3 favoring the Lightning. 2-0 Lightning heading for the start of second period play. Ben Bishop leads his teammates out. The Corona Tailgate Package scores you 2 tickets, 2 sandwiches, 4 Coronas for all Saturday night home games. Packages start as low as $75. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets. Rick Peckham and the Chief, Bobby Taylor, up here in the booth. And Chief, a lot to like about the first 20 minutes for Lightning fans.
Well, we talked a lot about the line combinations, and they had to make some adjustments again as some of the guys were getting healthy coming back into the lineup, and they worked out pretty well. I thought that line with Johnson, Palat, and Kucherov were outstanding, as was the one with Stamkos, Filppula, and Killorn. And you got net presence, you got everything, you got puck handling, you got guys that have got great vision that can set players up. So the combination of the 3 players on both those lines really seemed to have worked well in that first 20 minutes.
As we have a look at the Chase review of the Lightning 12-3. Not quite the case, but Ben Bishop looking good in his pads, Chief. Do you like to have that? An easier period for your goaltender for once?
Exactly. And well, the thing is with the goalie, you'll probably say, well, you can give me a few more shots. But the nice thing about it, the scoring chances, they really kept at a minimum for the Arizona Coyotes. And at the early part of the period, Rick, Arizona put a lot of pressure on there. They had some pretty good zone time, and then all of a sudden, the Lightning took over right when Kucherov got that goal, it seemed like. Hey, Tampa Bay Lightning Hockey on Sun Sports is brought to you by my favorite place, Hattrick's Tavern. And everything you love about Hattrick can now be brought right to you by Hattrick's Catering. So if you can't get to the restaurant, if you want it for a nice business meeting, a luncheon, or even a tailgate party, give them a call, and they'll supply all the great, as I call it, brown food for your tailgate party or for your office function.
The chicken wings.
They are good, aren't they?
Dave Tippett, 4 wins away from 200 in his career, just as the Coyotes bench boss. Of course, a longtime coach with the Dallas Stars. Knows Mike Smith well for those Stars days when he was working with Marty Turco, and of course Brendan Morrow, the captain of the team for many of those years, as played away here in the second. At the point, it's Connor Murphy. Across to Ekman Larsson, kept it on the line for Shane Doan. Spins it in for Bodker. Didn't seem like we saw a whole lot of him in that first period. Here's Murphy looking for a shooting angle. Finds what a save by Bishop. And the Coyotes intent on coming out in the second period with a good shift in the Lightning zone. Here's a deflected shot that missed the net. Bodker ridden off by Johnson. Coyotes have it back. A shot, a save by Bishop there on Doan. He'll get a whistle.
This is the thing. There's good stretches. You're going to have surges, and this is what we saw in the first part of the first period. Arizona having all kinds of zone time, retrieving the puck well, getting it back to their points where they really initiate probably 80% of their offense coming from those point men. And Lightning weather the storm here and hopefully get back like we saw play in the last half of that first period. They were in Phoenix's zone quite a bit. Arizona, 3 times already.
Well, the Coyotes with 3 shots in the first 20 minutes. They had 3 and 44 seconds to start the second period. Pass ahead for Erat. He sheds the check of Eric Brewer. Back around for Gagne. Couldn't make a play. Stamkos on him. Hansel gets a stick in there. Martin Hansel had a 4-point game at the expense of the Lightning. And the Coyotes win in Glendale back in November of last year. That's a career night for him. As we mentioned, coming off a knee injury, returning tonight. He tries to center, and it's deflected, and the puck ends up out of play.
Yeah, the only ones that saw it were the 2 linesmen out there, Pierre Rasico and Steve Barton. I don't think anybody else saw it. Players didn't even know where it went. Last 2 shifts now, and of course it's the short shift in the offensive zone, and the Lightning haven't been able to get out cleanly.
Ryan Boyle, 6-1 in the first period in the faceoff circle. Won that, but the Coyotes recover the puck. They get it back to Klinkhammer. He's on with Chip Chirrup and Korpikoski. Tippett changing the combinations a little bit here. And there's a shot blockered away by Bishop as Yandel let it go for the point. Morrow gets it out for the Lightning. And Boyle nearly was able to walk into the 2-on-1, but it was played well by Stone. Yandel checked in there by J.T. Brown. Scooped up by Chip Chirrup. Lobs it ahead, intercepted by Carl. Back to Boyle. Boyle walks in and shoots. Yandel deflected that away. Smith tapped it away to the corner. Morrow goes to work there. Taken down by Brown. He's got Boyle in front. Looks for him. Sprawling block made by Stone. Brewer at the blue line. Firing, and that's blocked. As Korpikoski is smarting from dropping in front of that shot. He's not putting a lot of weight on that left leg as the Lightning move it up ice.
Now you know why that ice machine is the biggest thing in the training room. Most important.
Second would be the hot tub. Here's Drouin, wheeling and dealing. Brewer sets up, shoots, and it's tipped on goal. Smith, a stick save. Nemestikov getting it back to Drouin. Finds Brewer with the wrist shot. Saved by Smith, and he hangs on. Oh, Jonathan Drouin, a couple of sharp passes there.
Well, you just got to make sure you're aware and ready. You know, he along with Kucherov, they'll find you. You can see that. They're always tape to tape. There's that quick shot. Heads-up play by Brewer to get it through a maze of players with a wrist shot. Not trying to get that big boomer of a slap shot going. Nice play by the Lightning defenseman.
Tyler Johnson's line had quite a first period. And Tyler leaning in against Antoine Vermette. He's a 70% face-off guy on the road this year, but he lost that to Johnson. Garrison winding, firing, and it's deflected away. And actually into the glove of Smith, and he'll hang on to it there.
Yeah, that's the one thing, if you take notice, Mike Smith will freeze that puck at every opportunity, and which is really a wise thing to do. You don't want to keep it moving. As well as he handles the puck, like Bishop, if you're really humming and burning those guys in the offensive zone, you want that face-off to start things over. It kind of disrupts the flow of the game as well, the more face-offs you take.
Now Vermette tossed out, and Shane Doan comes in, and he, in wearing the C, has a right to question the official on why that happened. Steve Barton drops the puck. Palat getting it back to the point. Well covered, though, by Vermette. Lightning work defensively and come up with a Tyler Johnson steaming and shooting. Smith the save. They score! Kucherov on the rebound, his second goal.
The passing is just incredible. That first long pass out of trouble in the zone. Right here, watch Palat drill that long pass right to the tape of Tyler Johnson, and then the rebound coming right there, and then Kucherov going to the net. And that rebound was bouncing too, so that just shows you those soft hands that he possesses to pick it out of midair and pump it home for his third of the year, second of the night is the 3-0 Lightning lead.
5 points for that line. And Chief, this is one line that we did see on the trip. Here's a turnover. Hansel in front. His attempt was poked away by Bishop. And the Lightning work it out of trouble back towards Smith. That's one line that has been kept together to start this game that we did see on the trip, Chief, and they certainly had their moments.
Yeah, an interesting thing though, Rick, isn't it? Because, Connell goes out in Winnipeg, really early in the game, about 5 minutes in with a knee injury, and that produces, they have to shuffle the lines, and they put Kucherov up with the two guys, and they click dramatically right off the bat.
Handle shot handled by Bishop.
There's that shot. Look, you see it bouncing, and then it ended up laying flat, and there he goes, just right there, and flips it over. This is the panic lap. That's it. Look at that. You can even see the writing on the puck. And that's what I feel like when I'm going for a birdie putt. Rick. It takes that forever for it to actually go in the hole.
And just like that puck, it ends up in the right spot.
Yeah.
McCulloch with a drive off the goal post. Lemko down the boards. And Vermette with it. Taken back by Bodker. Mikael Bodker, the Danish forward, steps inside with a nifty move. Vermette down to McCulloch, takes the drive. It's off Schuster. And Vermette swept it back to Schlemko. It comes back to David Schlemko at center. Coyotes back in the Lightning zone. Shane Doan. Drive missed the net. Schlemko. Behind the net for Doan. Matched up with Schuster. Bodker swings by for it, waiting for Metz. Snaps the shot off, and it's blocked by Brown. Boyle throws it to the open boards. Lightning need a change here, but Bodker's not going to let them. He holds it in, along with Doan. Coyotes get fresh D on, and they lose the puck to Brown. They'll test Michael Stone. Cuts in. Feeds it through. Saved by Smith on the tip by Boyle. He He arrived at the front of the net. The puck was right there.
They had a drill and they worked on that, Rick, in the morning skate as well as yesterday. That tipping drill.
Well, their passing, as you say, it's been pinpoint. Garrison waits for Chip Chura to approach, so he moves it by him up the boards. Drouin, however, can't get by the point man. Korpikoski shovels it back to Yandel. His floater hit Klinghammer. Bishop a stop on Korpikoski, and Klinghammer slowly getting up. He's not steady on his skates right now. He's coming to the bench. On the point, Yandel a drive. He missed the net. Kept free by Gudas. And it's bounced out to center. Boyle. Pass ahead. For Cedric Paquette trying to turn the corner. Can on Yandel. Centering pass. Knocked back to him. He shoots up. Blocker save by Smith. Vitale to center. Bounced away to Strawman. Yandel with it. Intercepted by Nemestikov. He played over 6 minutes here in the second. Coyotes have come to life for some pretty effective shifts, but the Lightning have added to their lead on the Kucherov goal. Pass to Jonathan Drouin's block. Nemestikov finds Carl, walks it in, fires, and it's deflected away off the stick of Smith. Here's Strawman shooting. Smith to stop, and he hangs on. And we get pushing and shoving out in front of Mike Smith. And the gloves coming off. Paquette and Connor Murphy are going to go at it. And Paquette with a right hand free.
We know he's a pretty tough kid, and Connor Murphy's not a small guy. He's around 6'4", good size.
3-0 Lightning here in the second.
I see the time and score here in the second, and a couple of close chances for both teams. Antoine Vermette, we talked about how good a face-off, clean win off the goalpost. That close, and then of course the Lightning coming right back with that. Watch how Brown shows great patience and then fires a tremendous pass to Brian Boyle in front, but Mike Smith was right there to close the door on that tip-in. So two good chances, one off a face-off and one off a really nice setup for a tip.
5 each for fighting to Paquette and Murphy at 6:33. Johnson reaches in for the puck, centers in front. It's tipped behind the net by Hansel. He lost it. Johnson got it in front and in the pads of Smith. 6:33. The Little Caesars Family Fun Pack scores you 4 tickets, 4 pizzas, 4 ice creams, and 4 sodas for all Saturday and Sunday home games. Packages start as low as $100. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets. Well, Johnson beats Hansel, a 63% man in the circle. He's got the hot hand tonight for the Lightning. Palat. Bring it back to Johnson. Roll to Kucherov. Johnson slips away with it. Handled on his back. Kucherov tried to center, he did, and it was intercepted by a well-positioned Martin Hansel.
Boy, yeah, he read that play really well because they were making that give and goal, and Hansel just stayed right with Palat.
Gagne sends it into Martin Erat. He tried to drop it back. Among 3 members of the Lightning, they work it free. Palat in the corner. McCulloch at the point, bouncing, flipping puck, and he was not able to hold it in. We now got a whistle for the offside.
Boy, he was fortunate because it looked like Johnson was going to be able to steal it, and away he went the other way.
Interesting about McCulloch, Chief, was never drafted, and he's been a steady, productive defenseman in this league for a long time. His younger brother, Milan McCulloch, we see him with the Ottawa Senators. He was a first-round pick, so how did they miss on the brother? They had their eye on Milan, and Zabinek somehow slipped through the cracks.
You always want that real solid, steady defenseman. I know you talked about the puck there, the guy that can really put up the points for you, but that man that can run 21, 22 minutes of strong, plus all in your own zone.
Always among the leaders in block shots. Yep. Killorn works the puck out for the Lightning. Filppula tried to swoop in to take it. Yandel slides it back in deep. Gudas. Very good Garrison. Stamkos back at his natural center position here as he's got Kaloran on the right side. Stamkos fires off the post. Coyotes back 3-on-2. Stamkos busting it back to even it out. That shot hit Bishop in the mask. In front, it's Yandel in the slot. Carl right there with him. Watch that Keith Yandel. He'll show up anywhere.
Oh, man, he's a tremendous player. I mean, a defenseman that beat your team in scoring for 2 years in a row. That's pretty impressive.
Orpikoski for the Coyotes. Start to formulate the rush. McCulloch to center. Intercepted by Carl. Morrow lugs it out. Boyle with him. Brown rounding out the unit. Pass across for Brown. Had to reach back for it. Works against Gagne. And Hansel takes it. And Ray Schuster gets that puck under control for Matt Carl. Boyle sliding it in. Smith out to handle it. Taken away, though, by Morrow. Tried to center. Erad is opposite. Number 10 picked it off. Back out comes Gagne, dribbling it toward Bishop, and he will cover to get a whistle.
Well, there's a little disagreement, but take a look at Stamkos' shot here. It comes right off, the quick shot, right when you see it. It comes off the crossbar, then the goalpost. Take a look at the overhead. You're going to see it come in here, see it right there, and then off the goalpost. Just glancing the crossbar, then the goalpost. Well. And you can hear the ping. When you hear the ping, it always is the one that saves your bacon. If you're watching. The punk or the clunk, that one always goes in, so you don't like that sound.
Something for Stammer and Smitty to talk about maybe after the game in the hallway. Bob Martell reset. And looking at that play once again to make sure it did go in the net. And we could see from the overhead in particular that it did not. Just a solid ping off the goalpost. Here's Kucherov ahead to Palat, trying to send him off to the races. Ekman Larsson there defensively. Palat tried to step inside, and Ekman Larsson tied him up. Puck gets away behind the net. Palat working against Ekman Larsson once again. Johnson helping out for the Lightning. Dropped his stick. And Ekman Larsson had it poked away by Kucherov. Absorbs a hacking. Palat shooting, and it's tipped away off the side of the goal. He'll pick it up. And behind to Johnson. Palat tapping his stick on the ice in that cycle. He wanted it. He now gets it. Kucherov cutting it, feeding it across, and it's scuffed by Brewer. Brewer wide open, and here's Palat shooting, and it's deflected and behind the net by Ekman Larsson. Well, the Lightning had the Coyotes mesmerized on that cycle. In front, it's Palat, and it bounced away to the corner.
I mean, we saw that in the first period, too.
Deflected off Smith's stick by Johnson. In front, Palat. Right in close. He's still got it. Johnson fires, and it's skimmed off Smith. Bodker with it. Well, the Coyotes desperate to get it out. Shane Doan met there by Schuster. Italian for the puck. It's taken by Schlemko. His drive hit Nemestikov. 9 minutes to go in the second. Lightning up 3-0 with plenty of pressure. 23-13 the shots favoring Tampa Bay. 10 each here in the second. As the puck angles past Bishop's goal. Garrison laying it up the boards. Boyle battling Schlemko all the way back. And Nemestikov hands it now to Radko Gudas. Nemestikov busting it toward the net. Got it on goal. Smith the save. He makes the rebound stop. And it's in across the line. But after the whistle, a penalty upcoming. It slipped in across the goal line, but Martell saying he had waved it off. We'll take a close look at this. The Lightning appear to get a power play when we come back.
Well, you're taking a look at Vlad Nemestikov, who appeared to have scored a goal before the whistle went. We'll watch it here. Nice play on the part of Davis and Nemestikov, and Lewis took a shot there to see the puck seemed to go over the line before the whistle, but now remember, again, the referee intended to blow the whistle, but they're saying, and it's not if a goalie makes a save, it doesn't matter anymore. You got to have control of the puck.
There's no goal on the plate. No goal on the plate.
Why?
Well, his microphone's not working to address the crowd, so he tried to activate the mic. It wouldn't go on, so he just said that there's no goal on the play, realizing that the arena was not hearing him. But we could. John Cooper wants to know.
Well, the point of it is that if they're saying the goalie was the one that went through to hit the goalie, he had control, but that the whistle goes in, he didn't. If it's able to sneak through a goaltender and go over the goal line, that's not a goaltender having a control of it. And even when you have a save, we've seen it in other times, Rick, when a goalie makes a save, it's not...
All right, so Paul Porter announces that the whistle had blown. You saw B.J. Crombie in the penalty box. He picked up the penalty, which had the goal counted would have not taken effect. It would have been wiped out. But it was the delayed penalty, and here's Nemestikov and Crombie pursuing him.
Yeah, there's the hook right there. So the Lightning will get the second power play of the game. They had 3 shots with the man advantage on the first one.
11:27, the time of that penalty. So, as Chief points out, it's not necessarily the actual blowing of the whistle. If the referee intends to blow the whistle, that's when the play officially stops. And apparently that was the case before the puck crossed the goal line. So, no goal as a result. Anton Strawman in deep in that Coyote zone, lobbing it back to Filppula, protects it away from Vermette very effectively. Maneuvers in front of the slot. And Garrison now will take it. Toyota power play chance for Tampa Bay. Killorn wrapped up along the boards. The puck squirts away to Garrison. Strawman fakes the one-timer with Vermette out on him. Stamkos with Killorn parked in front. Filppula in the slot. Garrison in the circle. Strawman with the drive, and it's blocked by McCulloch and cleared out. 1:05 remaining on the penalty. Anton Strawman is so solid for the Lightning this season.
Well, there's no panic in this game. That's what really is nice to see. Even when there's a lot of pressure on him.
Pass ahead for Killorn. Lobs it over the head of Ekman-Larsson. He's able to get a stick on it and skims it down the ice. 35 left on the penalty. And Carl. Here's Kucherov. And Ekman-Larsson right there to defend against him. Boy, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Kucherov racing ahead, taking that Tyler Johnson pass.
He misses that poke check. He's in all alone, but boy, he made a really nice play.
They look for him again. Once again escorted by Ekman-Larsson. Knocked free. Palat scoops it up for the Lightning. Late in this power play, Nemestikov around to Kucherov. Johnson at the point. They feed it now to Carl with the shot. Blocked in front by Stone. Crombie back on. Coyotes kill another penalty. It's sent down the ice. He'll get to it. Johnson will take it. Crombie battling against Carl. Crombie trying to center. Couldn't against Johnson.
One thing, too, about that power play, Lightning will get an icing call here, but no shots, but even if you don't score, you got to make that team work. And if you're playing around the perimeter, that's just easy for that defensive thing to really kill off the penalty. You're not tiring them out at all. There's no anxiety. And you got to make a team work on the penalty kill.
Well, Coyotes making a change on defense here. They can make a change, but the Lightning cannot because of that icing call. And
I think they're calling a timeout here.
Yeah. John Cooper waiting as long as he could to call that timeout to extend the break for his tired players. America's new sports network is the place to turn before every home run, every goal, and every game with America's pregame show on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune in to America's pregame show weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1.
That first power play, they had 3 shots, but they really made the Coyotes move. They really made Smith work for it. They went to the net. They had to fight through screens. The goalie had to find that out. This last one, it was not. It was like the ones we saw when they were in Western Canada. Very, very easy to defend it around the perimeter. And that has to be something that they have to get better at.
Now Cooper sends his troops back out there. Tyler Johnson to take the face-off against Vermette. And Vermette cleanly wins it. Back for Yandel. Fired in front. Everybody accounted for. And Palat will bring it ahead. He's got Johnson behind the defense. Zipped the pass by him, and it's icing.
Well, we take a look at Tyler Johnson. Coming into tonight's game, he had points in 6 straight games, all of them assists, and he's picked up 2 tonight. So his 7-game streak now, as you see there, 9 assists to go along with 1 goal.
Career best. Here's a shot off the face-off. They score! Fired home on the rebound as Shane Doan out in front completed the work with his first goal of the season. Only his 2nd goal in a long career against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Well, a face-off again. You take a look at that. It looked like they had it tied up enough, but no, it was quick. Nobody was there to block out. They got kind of mesmerized by the shot going back. Nobody got in front. All Doan did was go to the front of the net, take that rebound, and just flip it up backhander up over Ben Bishop. So his first of the year. Big goal for them.
The Coyotes have struggled to score goals. We've talked about the effective power play among the best in the league, but even strength, that's only their 10th goal in 7 games plus. At even strength. Ekman Larsson hanging out the center. Shot in by Klinkhammer. Garrison over for it, pressured by Chipchura. Kuda's battling behind the net. Boyle's involved there. Boyle trying to get it up the boards. Too much traffic. Coyotes will keep it back in below the goal line. Chipchura checked by Boyle. Garrison took it away from Klinkhammer. Looking for Morrow on the left wing. He knows what to do with it. It's played off the boards, but it will end up in another icing call against the Lightning. The Coke Zero Pin Package scores you 2 tickets, 2 sodas, 2 collectible player pins for select home games. Packages start as low as $20. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets.
We talked about they've only had 18 goals scored this year coming in tonight. That made it 19. So you can see why we were talking about that. 5-on-5 has not been good for Arizona. They've really struggled.
Including tonight, they've been outscored 21-10, 5-on-5. With all the goals scored at even strength in this one, but Shane Doan gets one back for Arizona.
Well, Shane Doan with his first of the season has given the Coyotes their first goal. Let's take a look at most games played by active players. As you see there, Jaromir Jagr, who is, 42 years old, but missed about 3 years when he was over in Russia. Doan with the same team, Ginla and Patrick Marleau, who's also played all those games with the same team. A lot of hockey games.
Coyotes win another face-off. Stone driving it wide. Stone and Vermette got assists on the goal by Doan. Right off the face-off win at 14:07. And the Lightning still battling in deep in their own zone. Hansel comes away with it, feeding it now to Stone. The pass not in the right spot for him. However, the Coyotes still working in deep in that zone as Filppula meets up with Martin Erat. Garrison pokes it ahead. 3-on-1. Filppula. Stamkos on the right. Feeding it now to Killorn. The pass and escapes. The Coyotes turn it around. Stamkos tipped it away from Hansel. Bouncing puck, McCulloch kept it in for only a moment. Now Doan trying to keep it in for a little longer. Arizona getting a hold of that puck, stepping up Garrison. It's tapped right back to Schlemko. And the play whistled down here.
Take a hand pass.
Under 4 minutes to go.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. 3-on-1, you don't get a shot off. I think the thing is, Killorn was trying to slow up to get it, and then the pass was just a little bit in his feet. And then a good back pressure by Coyotes were able to take that puck away. But when you have those odd man rushes, you really want to get a shot on goal.
Shots were 12-3 Lightning at the end of one. You saw they're even 13 apiece here in the second. Doan's still out there. Strangest thing happened to him last year, Chief. We've known him as such a sturdy warrior in this league, but he missed about 3 weeks to 4 weeks with what they finally determined after numerous tests to be Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And apparently he was bitten by a tick somewhere in Arizona. He's got a big ranch there in the Phoenix-Glendale area. Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And it just sapped his strength. It was like flu-type symptoms. And they could not figure out what the problem was for the longest time. Finally diagnosed him. And he made it back and is back to full strength.
That'd be really hard to handle for a while. Not knowing what was wrong.
Especially for a guy who's been, as you just saw the graphic with all those games, so hale and hearty throughout his career. And the puck covered as if it were a fumble behind the net. Coyotes get a hold of it, working it back to the point. Yandel fires off the end boards. Back to Ekman-Larsson as those two on together. Lightning come up with it though, and Morrow chips it ahead. He takes a look over his shoulder. He sees that the Lightning have started to change, but he's got Boyle with him, his usual partner, and Brown alongside as well. Ekman-Larsson gave it up. Boyle alone scores!
I'll tell you what, great hands, two ways. In other sense, watch how he gets in great position, reads this play. He's coming here, makes it, kicks the puck to his stick, and then right under the backhand and up underneath that crossbar. Mike Smith had no chance whatsoever to get that one. What a tremendous play by Brian Boyle to pick up goal number 2, which should be unassisted, to give Lightning back that 3-goal lead.
And yeah, that's a huge goal. There's another try with Johnson cutting it toward the net. Lightning back up to that 3-goal lead. Of course, a night after you watch the Rangers come back from 3-0 down to score 5 in a row to beat the Wild last night. And we've seen all season long hard to protect leads of 2-3 goals in this league. And the Lightning, with their lead sliced to 2, get it back to 3 and almost make it 4, with Kucherov banging on the door for what would be his first hat trick. And he's got the puck now. It's just tapped away as Stone got it out of his grasp. Boyle unassisted at 17:32. He had 21 goals a few years back for the Rangers, but as he's told Paul Kennedy and others, well, don't look for that every year out of me. Sometimes he just bounce a few in.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got great hands, and if you notice, they do a nice job of getting his line out there after a goal is scored.
And pass called there. Let's have a look at what's coming up on our Gulf Coast Honda second intermission report. Rich Hollenberg will visit with Brian Boyle outside the Lightning room. We'll introduce you to tonight's community hero, and it'll be Dave, Andrechuk, and Rich talking about the goings-on in that second period. Highlights and stats coming your way as well. Boyle's got a goal, 3 hits. He's 8-3 in the face-off circle. That's a lot to chew on for Rich and Brian at the second intermission. Gagne starting it in for Arizona. Here's Hansel, cuts to the middle. Sends the shot just wide. But they score! Erad from behind the net hooked it in off Bishop. Phoenix for the Arizona Coyotes getting another one back, and it's now a 4-2 game.
You've got to take guys out. You've got to allow them to take them out of the play. Make it finish. Lightning didn't do that. They had the puck 2 or 3 times up along the wall, just outside the blue line and then inside their own blue line, and they never took players out of the play. And that's how they got back in the zone. That's how they're able to come back and get that goal. That's a big goal for them. That keeps their hearts alive. You go in that second intermission, and they're down 4-1. It's a long climb. Now they're only down by 2, and that's a dangerous lead.
Kucherov, Johnson, Palat looking to bust out again. They have been such a threat all night long. Kucherov a pair of goals. Under a minute to go in this second period. Anton Strawman tracking down the puck. He's pursued now by Bodker. Johnson sliding it around the boards. Kucherov sending it across to Palat, and off they come. Erad scoring his 3rd goal of the year. Pass across. The shot saved by Smith on Kucherov, who leaps into the glass. A little frustrated he didn't get that 3rd goal.
Hansel and Gagne picking up the assists on that 3rd goal by Erad, but here they're coming across, getting him nice and wide open, and I think you can see him upset with himself not getting it up high enough. Mike Smith really over there covering that side of the net very well.
Boyle wins the face-off. Strawman looks for an opening, got it through, and it was kept away from the net by Smith. Vinik Mikalik. Coyotes working ahead to Erad. And stepping up on him quickly was Matt Carl. It's fired into the netting out of play. With 18.9 to play, the draw coming up at center.
You take a look at this Coyote club coming in there, why they've been winning so many face-offs, and they were 3rd in the NHL coming in tonight, just under 55% as a team, 54.9 to be exact. That's a big step toward puck possession.
Dave Tippett with a good staff, but if you knew him as a player, you understand why they're strong in those areas. He was a very good face-off man as a centerman, an excellent penalty killer, and he knows what makes power plays tick. And they're strong in those special teams and strong in the circle. Pass ahead for J.T. Brown. Fires it right through the blue. And time runs out in the second period. Started promising, and the Arizona Coyotes having a word before it ends, as each team scoring twice, and the Lightning with a 2-goal lead through 40 minutes of play. The shots through 40, 28 for the Lightning and 17 for Arizona. Tampa Bay Lightning hockey on Sun Sports is brought to you by Gulf Coast Honda. Visit your Gulf Coast Honda dealers for great deals on new Hondas. Go to gchondadealers.com. By Kaiser University. Over 90 programs online and on campus. Learn more at kaiseruniversity.edu. And by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. Lightning getting set in the hallway to come out the ice for what they hope will be a big 3rd period. They've got that 2-goal lead, Chief. As we head for the 3rd, what are the basics, what are the elements of their game that they need here to protect the lead?
Well, they've just got to play fast again, Rick. They got to get on the engine. They got to get into that zone quickly, control the play inside that Arizona zone, and it's going to be a little bit easier this period than it was the last because it's the short change. And I don't think you can sit back, but they have to really use that speed, use that forechecking ability that they have, and that really got them this lead.
Well, as we look at the Chase review, Chief, the Coyotes, as you would expect, really had some pushback to start the second. The Lightning reacted pretty well to it.
Yeah, they did, and that's a good sign, because when you take a look at the shot totals, it was 16-14 favoring the Lightning, but it was a lot better than the 12-3 difference they had in the first period. Arizona was not in that game at all, but they certainly can't come back very, very quickly. And you can bet they're going to start quickly because they get that goal, and all of a sudden you switch the pressure.
Let's have a look at the Lightning's upcoming schedule presented by Steak and Shake.
Well, it's the Flyers coming into town the day before Halloween. Kind of apropos with the orange and black, isn't it?
Yep.
Ovechkin and the Capitals on Saturday. Calgary the following Thursday. The Lightning will get a few days off to get healthy and to work out some kinks in the practices. And then they're on the road starting with Columbus on a Saturday and Detroit on the Sunday. Those 5:30 starts in Detroit proved to be pretty good for the Lightning last year. They got their shutout over the Red Wings last year, remember?
Yeah, and a real tough back-to-back with New Jersey the night before. We saw Ryan Johansson there, Chief. He's just disproving that theory that you need any sort of training camp. He scored a point at least in every game for the Blue Jackets this year that he's played in, and he didn't have any camp with that contract problem.
No, I mean, he held out, and I think both sides now are really probably happy that they were able to come to an agreement. And it looked like it was going to be very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. And you look at how Jonathan Drouin has looked his first 4 or 5 games. He didn't have any camp because of that fractured thumb. Of course, he did skate. Here's Bodker firing, and he sends it over the shoulder of Bishop. He just didn't have the preseason games.
Nope, you're right.
Gudas storms into that corner, wins a puck, and out come the Lightning. Pass deflected, and Kucherov will throw it back to his defense. Tyler Johnson knocked down by Hansel. Up reaching Andre Palat. He works against Keith Yandel. He played better than 10 minutes in that second period. Yandel playing 6 minutes in the first. And he's almost to 17 minutes for the game.
Well, he's well up amongst the leaders in total ice time, Yandel. So he's sixth, actually, averaging over 26 minutes a game coming in tonight.
Filppula took that pass. It just got away from him. However, Stamkos recovers it. Couldn't center. Filppula with him behind the net. Stamkos. 4 shots on net in this hockey game. The puck fired ahead for Sam Gagner. He'll scoot to center. Hounded by Filppula and met by Strawman. Strawman finds Alex Killorn. Stamkos swerves away from Korpikoski. McCulloch holding it in for Arizona. Coyotes coming up with it. Gagner trying to center. Pass out to Schlemko. Kept it on the line. He'll just throw it behind the net. Strawman had it taken away by Gagner. Chipchura. It's a bump in there by Filppula. This line on for quite a while for the Lightning as the Coyotes possess the puck. And it is deflected out of play.
Yeah, you got to match the energy. You knew that Arizona was going to come hard in the first few minutes to get that, as you might say, proximity goal. And you've got to match that energy level. And that's the thing. In the defensive zone, you always have energy when you got the puck when you're in the offensive zone. So that defensive team has to be able to match that. And that's where the Lightning have got to do that against the Coyotes.
Face-off here, and the puck ends up in the equipment of Joe Vitale in his hip pocket. He was going to take that home. Brasico to drop the puck, and it comes back in front of the Lightning net. Brendan Morrow, one of only 2 players for the Lightning without a shot on goal in this hockey game. That's a good sign there. Jonathan Drouin being the other one. And an errant pass ends up in an icing call.
See how important passing is? Boy, you got to make that pass correctly to get out of trouble. Now it's Beach back in your zone.
The Subway Student Rush ticket scores you the best available seat for just $20 and is available for all home games with a valid student ID. Buy at Amalie Arena 30 minutes prior to game time. Well, the Lightning passing was pinpoint in the first 20 minutes. And they're hoping to find that mark again here as we go along in the third. Schuster had fronted Shane Doan effectively. Those two have matched up quite a bit this game tonight. Puck comes back to Doan. Bishop helping out his defense. Brewer +2, shoveling it ahead to Morrow, and out to Morrow with Brown and Boyle on this line. Boyle hooks it behind the net. Schuster creeping in for the far side.
He moves up well on the play, Andre Schuster. You watch it, he doesn't hesitate. He makes that decision and he goes.
Bishop angling it to the line and not out. It was held in as Morrow coming back for it. JT Brown. They'll just flip it softly in the zone, permitting a line change. Connor Murphy after serving his major with Cedric Paquette available for duty. Ekman Larsson brings it ahead. He has struggled with a -3 to this point in the game. He's a -10 to this point in the season. Unusual for such a talented defenseman. Lightning busted out. Paquette involved here, along with Nemestikov, and they're held up by the Coyotes. Garrison couldn't clear it out. Hansel handing it now to Gagne. Firing. Saved by Bishop. Paquette gets it to Nemestikov. He slides it ahead to Jonathan Drouin. He's got a couple of teammates trying to join him, but he was held up at the line. Erad comes back defensively.
Boy, if he was able to control that puck, they had a 2-on-1 and a good one with those quick passing skills of Drouin. They would have had set that winger in all alone.
Puck behind Johnson now as Gagne couldn't get it down the boards. Gudas giving it to Carl. Ahead for Tyler Johnson. Races ahead. Looks to make a play. Dropping it back. Palat leans into that shot. Vitale blocked it. Strawman. Schlemko checks his options. Going to the corner. Back for McCulloch, and it's tipped out by Crombie. Taken over by the Lightning, though. And Johnson shoved to the boards by Vitale. For Vitale out of Northeastern University. Playing it back to Schlemko. McCulloch. That's blocked by Carl. And here comes Kucherov stepping and shooting. A save by Smith. Nikita Kucherov, a threat all night long.
Well, he has such a good release, and he's looking for the top part of the net. See him coming through there, and rather than just make a play, because there was no play to be had, both you see just coming through the screen. Sometimes you get it up. If you get it up high enough, you can really handcuff that goaltender. You can't get that glove up high on that left shoulder.
But Chief, I think we've seen Matt Carl about a dozen times tonight step up and really close off the ice in that neutral zone, and he started that play by stepping up right there and sending Kucherov in.
You really got to do that, and that's such a key.
Kucherov lays it back between the point men. They'll have to take it at center.
So make sure you close those guys out in that situation and get the puck.
Stone and Yandel bring it ahead. Yandel winding, firing, blockered away by Bishop. Schuster off the boards. Comes down to Killorn. He gets rid of it, doesn't fool around. Connor Murphy getting to it quickly. The Lightning changing, though, and Arizona needing to do the same. Here comes Ekman Larsson. Boyle meets up with Vermette. Gudas involved. Coyotes come up with it. Murphy from the point. Ekman Larsson looking. He'll angle it off the sharp boards, and it was played away by Boyle out of a dangerous area. He was fending off Bodker, as well as making sure that puck did not reach the front of the net. Until Bodker goes down. Vermette bodied there by Boyle. Another hard-working shift down low by Arizona. And Brendan Morrow starts it back for the Lightning. Over for Brown on the off wing. He's got Gudas busting. Looking for him. Just out of his reach. And the puck caroms back to center. Vermette hands it now to Bodker. Forced wide by Matt Carl. And he saw Gudas coming at the last moment and surrendered that puck eagerly.
Yeah.
That's see? The puck or my teeth? What do I value most?
I can always get the puck back.
Paquette with a check in behind the net. Lemko up the boards. Chopped away by Martin Hanzal. Coming across Carl. Paquette hands it now to Drouin. And he slipped most of that hip check attempt by Schlemko. He's in there to pressure McCulloch. Nemestikov slips free. Now to Drouin. Firing save by Smith. Rebound. Paquette with a drive. Rebound. Another stop. And it comes back to Gagne. Good pressure by that trio. Erad gets to it. Hanzal was open. They didn't see him. Yandel coming late. Hangs on. Feeds it in front. Gagne centers. And Drouin takes it away. Do they have enough gas in the tank for this 2-on-1? Coyotes catch up. Drouin turning. Backhands in front. It's kicked away by Yandel.
Well, they're going to get to the bench quickly.
Yandel joining that rush, and it's deflected by Brewer. Bishop turned that aside. Johnson throwing it across. Paquette just wants to get to the bench. He had to play the puck one more time. Yandel's pass knocked down by Kucherov. Bishop handling it. Schuster in the middle at center. In for Johnson. Works against Murphy, who closed him out. Palat throws ahead, wins the puck. Kucherov waiting in front. The pass is just behind him. Brewer backs up the play. Schuster taking a look. Back to Brewer. Around they work it. Tyler Johnson. Kucherov shoots. He scores! Nikita Kucherov, his first NHL hat trick. And the Lightning are back in front by 3.
When you watch this play develop, you can see Kucherov moving into the slot to get himself open for the shot. And watch him. Now you see him here, see him move right back out here and look for it. And then before you even blink, that shot's off his stick. Look at him move. See, look at him there. Bang, right in, right off the bat. And he's just been on fire. It took the Western Canadian trip to start him. And that Palat and Johnson has really helped. His 4th of the year, the hat trick tonight, as Rick pointed out, but what a tremendous play by the young player. And Nikita Kucherov's hat trick is brought to you by, guess who? Hat Tricks Tavern.
First round on Chief.
He's going to rule the roost there tonight.
Well, he had 3 assists late in that trip in Winnipeg, and now he's got 3 goals 2 games later.
I just love the way he gets himself in a position to shoot. And the key thing of it is, Rick, he really gives himself, gives the passer a great target. He always opens up his body to the pass so you can see the stick and the body, everything all at once, and then he just lets it go right off the bat. He does not hesitate, and he's very, very active with it, and it has a lot of volume on that shot.
Now Kucherov, well, he could taste a game like this even last year, Chief. He ended up with only 9 goals, went dry for a long time, but never really went dry in terms of good scoring chances. He just didn't have a lot of puck luck.
Exactly.
Play whistle down here. 11:32 to go in this third period. The Lightning back to their third 3-goal lead. The hat trick for Nikita Kucherov.
What a great time now to prevent our Diamond Performance, brought to you by Ackerman Jewelers. And yes, you guessed it, Nikita Kucherov with his first career hat trick, opening the scoring early, and then got one in the second period with great hand-eye coordination. And in this one here, really a tremendous effort at getting open, setting himself up for a pass from Johnson, and putting it home for his 4th of the year, and the finish off the hat trick. And that's our Diamond Performance, brought to you by Ackerman Jewelers.
Obviously a career night for Kucherov, as well as a 3-assist night for Tyler Johnson. He and Eric Brewer got the assists on that goal at 8:23, and that's a career high for assists in a game for Tyler Johnson. Yandel, his pass picked off. Killorn in front, and he couldn't get organized in the shot. Yandel got it back to Bodker. Archer cuts in, fires. Save Bishop, corral the rebound.
Boy, we're so used to seeing Ben Bishop have a little bit more action in this game. And I probably have to ask him tomorrow anyway. How'd you keep your concentration? Because even long stretches of time where he had all kinds of shots, and then long stretches of time when he was just kind of checking out everybody in the first level.
Well, you look at how this season has gone. This is game 10 of the regular season. Lightning home for the first 4. And that fourth home game was the 2-1 loss to the Devils, where the Lightning really didn't like their net presence there and some other elements in that game. They only lost it 2-1, but they followed that up. First game of the road trip, a very impressive game against the Vancouver Canucks. JT Brown was sent sprawling into the boards there by Ekman Larsson as he was checked along the boards in Winnipeg, and that's what kept him out for that Minnesota game. But you look at this, the Lightning coming off that 7-2. They score! Boyle scores his second goal of the game. Well, the answer to 7-2 loss in Minnesota with a big effort here. Right now they got a 6-2 lead.
It was all set up by great hustle. Brendan Morrow beats the puck down. Watch how he gets in there and he fights to get the puck, and they're saying they tied or else it would have been icing. If Morrow doesn't hustle like that, they don't have a chance to even get a shot away. Great play by Brendan Morrow, and then of course the quick pass by JT Brown, and Boyle just finished it off with a shot to the high corner on the glove side. And we have a new goaltender. Devan Dubnyk is now replaced Mike Smith in the net.
Now Smith surrendering 6 on 33 shots. He had a rough start to the season, giving up 16 goals his first 3 appearances, but as we've noted and Rich Hallenberg talked about in Lightning Live pregame, he gave up only 3 goals in his last 2 games. So Dave Tippett said this morning he talked to Smitty, who said he just hadn't been that comfortable in net the first few games, but he certainly looks a lot more like himself now. And his old team has put 6 behind him in this one, and Devan Dubnyk, signed as a free agent. The backup goaltender has come in. Puck comes out of the zone, played back in offside. 9:58 remaining in the third period. The Lightning have added 2 to their lead. They're now up by the score of 6-2. Boyle's goal, the most recent.
Well, that man there has picked up 2 goals tonight to give the Lightning a 6-2 lead. Let's take a look at some of the highlights on that high on the Phantom cam. Some great shots. And it's kind of interesting, Rick, you know, as fast as this game is, when you see it in slow motion, it's almost like ballet.
It's your
the real ballet.
Yeah.
That's the kind you want to do.
Now the assists go to Brown and Stralman on the Boyle goal at 9:26. They score twice in a minute and 3 seconds. They'll open things up. 4-2 to 6-2. Michael Stone's shot is blocked. Yandel playing it down the boards. Chip Chura wrapped up there by Andre Schuster. Yandel for the point. Boy, he drives that wide. Quite a tussle in front with Brewer and Klinkhammer. Drouin will play it off the glass, back to center ice, and it went in and out of the Arizona bench. Tonight's broadcast code of the game is STICKS. Simply go to lightningfanrewards.com and enter the code in our Game Day Challenge section. Register now to start playing.
Well, very quickly, Rick. I mean, it's just a little over a minute. The Lightning really have put themselves up in a major driver's seat for this hockey game, up 6-2 now with under 10 minutes to go. But it was kind of a touch and go there for a while when Erac scored at the very end of the second period.
This is the 4th 2-goal game in Brian Boyle's career. He's never had a hat trick. Lightning lob it out to center, played back in by Doan. And Bishop there. Trying to get to Johnson with 3 helpers on the night. Tyler Johnson Now has a goal and 10 assists on the season, 11 points, icing the call. Kucherov not far behind him now with 9 points, 4 goals and 5 assists.
Yeah, you get that big goal and big game, and he really turned it on, I thought, in Western Canada. He was getting a little bit more ice time as well. His ice time was a little less. He was only averaging a little over 10 minutes a game, even with some of the games in Winnipeg and Minnesota. But that average will jump up now when you play with Palat Johnson.
Now that puck turned right and missed Devan Dubnyk in the Arizona net. And another icing call results. All rights to this broadcast are reserved. And any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Tampa Bay Lightning is prohibited. Johnson digs into the faceoff. Coyotes get it. Shot was blocked in front. Comes back. Yandle with a shot. That doesn't make it through. Neither does the third try. Yandle again. Stone with a shot. And that's blocked. As Palat went down in front there. Stone fires. Saved by Bishop. He hangs on. And Palat a little shaken up going to the Lightning bench as we get a little disturbance brewing involving Gudas. Tom Mulligan, head athletic trainer, is going to check out Andre Palat. Boy, at this point, Chief, I know this isn't the way they play, but it's like just let the goalie handle it.
Well, he blocked about 3, and it was the last one that hurt him. I think watch him here, and he gets it in his arm. And, that's almost how Victor Hedman broke his finger. And hopefully he's okay, because you certainly don't want him out. Andre Palat does so many good things for him.
The Lightning getting Brown and Killorn back tonight. John Cooper said this morning he expected Ryan Callahan to play sometime this week. He's been out with a lower body injury. Brett Conley on the mend as well. It would seem, no timetable has really been put on when he would come back soon, but certainly more than Victor Hedman would, who's going to be out a few weeks still. And that broken finger, surgically repaired, he is. They kept away from the net by Strawman. Puck comes back on the point. Ekman-Larsson firing. That's blocked. And here's Crombeen shoots. He scores. B.J. Crombeen scores. Top corner. With 7:17 to go. It's now 6-3.
So many times the Lightning have had chances to really control that play and get that puck back, and they've been out-muscled or out-fought for that puck. And this one here by Crombeen, the loose puck's right here. He just takes it, just gets it inside the post and on the crossbar. 12:43 will be the time of Crombeen's goal.
His first point with his new team. Another guy Dave Tippett would have known from his Dallas days. As we await the go ahead here with 7:17 to go. The shot's 33-24 Lightning. See there. Shot 7-5 Arizona here in the third period.
They verify every goal.
Jean Hebert waiting for the go-ahead. And they get the signal.
Good shot, by B.J.
The Arizona goal, number 44, B.J. Crombeen. His first
Long pass ahead for Klinkhammer's by him and icing the call against Arizona. Lightning will visit the Coyotes in late February out at newly renamed Gila River Arena in Glendale. Part of a West Coast trip that'll include stops in L.A., Anaheim, San Jose, Colorado. Vitale and Ekman-Larsson assist on the goal by Crombeen at 12:43. Couture Trying to move that puck up the boards. Boyle picks it off. Can't get the shot away. Brewer takes a look. He risks it. He sends it wide. And the carom comes out to center ice. Well, Chief, you pointed out Brendan Morrow's work to set up what turned out to be the goal by Boyle. He's had just 1 point this year with the Lightning, but I could think of a couple of plays. The power play goal that turned out to be the winner in Vancouver from Callahan, where he had all sorts of traffic in front of the net.
Yep.
He's had 2 or 3 plays where the Lightning scored. He doesn't touch the puck, but without him, they don't score.
Exactly. That one right there would have been nice. He doesn't really put his head down, hustle to tie the defenseman going back for it. Really a heads up play.
6 minutes remaining. Garrison on the one touch, deflected in by Drouin. Nemestikov getting to it. Working with Paquette in that corner. He spins away from Vermette. Nice move. Finds Garrison with the shot. Wad of Dubnyk. Drouin behind the net. Caught up to there. And Paquette gets it away once again with a nifty move. Nemestikov fires. Blockered away by Dubnyk. Dubnyk with the Oilers for a number of years. Moved on to Nashville last year, signing with Arizona as a free agent. Paquette pursued. Hacked at there. As Doan in on the forecheck, he's got one of the 3 Coyote goals. Icing the call against the Lightning. Be sure to tune in Thursday night. The Lightning hosting the Philadelphia Flyers. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. with Lightning Live pregame. The Bolts and the Flyers. Always a big night. Thursday night, right here on Sun Sports.
Well, I think we've seen these combinations that the coaching staff put together for the Lightning worked out quite well. Especially that Palat Johnson and Kucherov.
Wow. As you pointed out, put together through the road trip out of necessity because of the bodies falling left and right to injuries as that trip went on. Ekman-Larsson down the boards. Carl had to get away from him. Doan feeds the point. Shot by McCulloch. Missed the net. Loose on the side of the net. As Bishop's stick got tangled up with Hansel. And Bishop now able to get to it. As Palat back in action. Battles McCulloch in that corner along with Erat. Johnson and a piece of Ekman-Larsson. McCulloch tied up by Kucherov. Palat on the scene as well. Wrangling with Hansel. The shot by Johnson missed the net. Erat trying to get to it ahead of Carl. McCulloch lobs it through center ice. Strawman back for it. Stamkos on with Valtteri Filppula. The pass off Stevens' skate. Deflects to the Coyote defense. Crombeen back on with Vitale. They click for the latest goal for the Coyotes. And it's Filppula turning away from Vitale and behind to Schuster. Stamkos now had his stick hacked by Crombeen, who's going to get a slashing call. And the Lightning in the power play in the late going here, up 6-3 over the Arizona Coyotes.
Lightning up by 3. Let's take a look at tonight's high-def highlight brought to you by H.H. Gregg. And it's the first goal that Kucherov scored on the deflection. You see that in slow motion right past Mike Smith. And then this one here, the one that completed his hat trick, you see the quick release. It doesn't have to be real hard or real pure, just so you got it away quickly enough it found its way underneath the pad of Smith. And that's our H.H. Gregg highlight.
Lightning have had all 3 power plays in this hockey game. Coyotes without one to this point. Slashing to Crombeen at 16-19. Toyota power play chance for the Lightning. They have not scored on the first 2. And it's Garrison leaving it for Valtteri Filppula. Filppula held up on the line by Brandon McMillan. The play's offside. The Bud Light Up for Whatever package scores you 2 tickets, 2 Lightning Girls calendars, and 4 Bud Lights for all Wednesday and Thursday games. Starting as low as $75. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets. Keep just thinking, Lightning, you don't want to make them mad. They lose and
in Minnesota, embarrassing effort in Minnesota that we heard Valtteri Filppula talk about it in between periods. He's rich, and then on Stamkos and a couple of soundbites talked about how they did not end the trip as well as they wanted to, and they were very upset with themselves. So they do not want to have a letdown coming out here for the first game back of 4.
Well, they lost in Edmonton. What did they do? Very impressive win in Winnipeg. You go back a little further. Ooh, big hit by Hansel there. Erat with a puck. Short-handed for the Coyotes. It's centered in front. We go back to the Devils game. The Lightning responded in the next game. A very impressive, complete game against Vancouver. And, of course, the shootout loss to Ottawa, they followed that up with a 7-1 pounding of the Montreal Canadiens. So they respond pretty well.
There's a lot of pride in this room, in their room, and I think that's the key. And they've got a lot of confidence in their ability, and they don't play right up to the level they expect. That means the players. That upsets them more than coaches get upset all the time. The players, they don't like to play badly when they know it.
And we're back to last year. The Lightning didn't lose 2 in a row until that trip in Phoenix and also LA and Anaheim, and lost a couple there and lost one in overtime in Anaheim. It was a real tough loss. But so they've made it a habit to respond well after losing a hockey game. Palat with that puck down low, steps in front, shooting, and it's deflected away by Dubnyk as Johnson was right there as well. They look for Johnson. Back to Carl. He scores! And Carl's first goal of the season makes it 7-3.
Boy, what nice passing. And it's quick pass by Schuster to get it to Johnson, who one time, and it looked like it deflected off a defenseman from Arizona. The shot coming in low and then run up over top of the right shoulder of goaltender Dubnyk, and I think that indicates it was deflected, and it appeared to me it was the defenseman in front of Dubnyk.
Well, 7-3 now, 1:38 to go in this contest. Blocker moving it along to Doan, taken away by Schuster. He's been a constant companion of his throughout the night. Brendan Morrow angles it out smartly so they avoid icing, and J.T. Brown in for a steal. He shoots, and it just hit the crossbar behind Dubnyk and stayed out.
Wow, how did that stayed out and then right behind him and even rolled down his arm.
Miles goal just in the final seconds of the Crombie penalty, a power play goal. Bishop a save here. And Johnson gets a 4th assist. Schuster the other assist at 18:15.
There's that shot that just, when he looked like he scored on it, it hit him on this. How does that go? It hit him on the sleeve, went up to the crossbar, and come straight down and went the other way. Watch. Right there, look, it comes straight down, and then bounced the other way. Oh. You think you're snake bitten? Man, when that happens, you'd think it would be straight down, it would kind of bounce in towards the other way. It didn't.
Well, they're taking a look at it, and a look at the 3 stars brought to you by Steak and Shake.
Well, I think you can see that the first 2 are probably no-brainers. You know, Kucherov with his first hat trick and had a tremendous game. Tyler Johnson, his centerman, was outstanding as well. Brian Boyle, not only did he get the 2 goals, but he was just a monster in that face-off circle. And what I like about it is that when the Lightning score a goal, they get his line out there to make sure that the other team doesn't score right after it. And that's a very important. They always tell you the shift after a goal is scored is the most important one, for and against.
Tyler Johnson's 4th assist. He just adds to his career high, the club record 5 assists in a game. Marty St. Louis, Mark Recchi sharing that mark. Yandel Now with Stone rifling it ahead, it's off the stick of Korpikoski, out of play. 33.6 to go. Boyle, one of the scoring heroes tonight, matching a career high with 2 goals.
Yeah, I like the idea of his ability to win those faceoffs, Rick. That's incredible for me. He was 5-2 in that second period. 9-4 on the first 40 minutes, and I'm sure he's well up on that here in the third.
Well, in front of a crowd of 17,511 on Hockey Fights Cancer Night, the Lightning explode for 7 goals for the second time this year as they work the puck in deep in that Arizona zone. Morrow wrangling there with Ekman Larsson, and the final seconds tick off the clock with the shots 35-25 Lightning. And there's the final horn, and the Lightning now 6-3-1, 13 points, 3-1-1 at home. Nikita Kucherov, what a night. His first career hat trick. Tyler Johnson, 4 assists on the night. Just among the highlights as the Lightning open a 4-game homestand tonight with a big win. They host the Flyers on Thursday. And we've got Lightning Live postgame coming your way in just a few moments.